Volkswagen Polo Cup celebrates 22 years this year, and a brand new sponsor with Compcare coming on board as the naming rights sponsor for the 2022 season. It's an incredible field that are going to join us for the 2022 season as well, and one of them is Davy van der Merwe. That's the man who's got all the pressure on his shoulders, because I can tell you something, for the last 2 seasons, the Rookie of the Year has gone on to win the championship. Last year it was Leighton, the year before it was Dario Busi. Davy's now going to try and do it as well. He's got the help of Charles Visser and 2 brand new drivers in the team for Universal Motorsport. It's incredible to see the likes of Ethan Coetzee and Jagger Robertson stepping up into Polo Cup for the first time. And they're not the only ones. There's a whole bunch of rookies that have joined us. Let's go and find out what happened in qualifying and Super Pole for the 3 races here for the opening round.
Important to get qualifying sorted out and make it through to the all-important Super Pole. Very difficult conditions, a little bit of wind out on the circuit, means the slipstream effect is definitely going to come into play. And you can see teams trying to work together here, particularly Team Red Racing, and just as hard are Giordano, Lupini and Yuri Swart. And they are working together now as a team. Tate Bishop is all on his own, but did a great job getting himself up into the battle and into the hunt for Super Pole. So did Natim Samanga as he makes his way out into the circuit. Right on his tail is Yuri Swart, and they'll all be looking to try and outgun everybody else in the Super Pole. The top 6 up there and pushing hard. At the end of it though, it was all about Giordano Lupini putting onto the Super Pole and taking the 2,500 Rand courtesy of Dunlop Tyres.
Qualifying went really well for us. We made a few adjustments to our team setup, to our approach to qualifying, and it's all paying off really well. So we're really happy. It's a massive contrast to what happened last time round, and I couldn't be happier. I think it's a perfect way to start the season.
Lupini's on pole. He'll be looking to push hard with all the Cape Town contingent there, including Tate Bishop, Charles Visser. Watch out for Davy van der Merwe, looking to improve slightly as well. Didn't quite go according to plan there in the Super Pole, but definitely looking for a chance now to up his game in the hunt at the front end. Yuri Swart is there, so is Natim Samanga, and then Clinton Mercedes and Jagger Robertson. Welcome return to Polo for the Robertson name, but in the hands now of Jagger. Dean Fenter, Kwanda Mokwena, Lonica Martins, Bryce Pillay, Cara Hill, Ethan Coetzee, and Zolela Njabuka at the back. Come to the line now. It was almost Bullion IT front row lockout, but they are 1 and 3 on the grid. Let's see if they can use that slightly dirtier line to get off the line and get down towards turn 1. The clean line is where Angry Car and Tate Bishop wants to go, but it's a good start there from Davy van der Merwe. Has he been able to outgun? Yes, he has, by the looks of things, into turn 1. The second of the Bullion IT cars. No, he just slots in behind that as they go down into KFM corner and turn 1 for the first time. Holzhoek, absolutely brilliant stuff now. All the cars getting through relatively unscathed, and yes, they've got through nicely. Fortunately, no one running wide this time, and onto the dirty stuff. Up towards turn 2, it is Tate Bishop who leads things out. The Bullion IT cars there are 2nd and 3rd, led out by Yuri Swart. Giordano has dropped down to 3rd place into the clutches of Davy van der Merwe, first of the Team Red Racing Machines, and Lonica Martins squeezing through there as well. Good start from her as she comes up into the thick of it there, pushing hard just behind Clinton Mercedes. We're on board here with Jagger Robertson, leader of the rookie class at the moment, tucked in behind his teammate Charles Visser. Not a bad place to be. Charles Visser knows this circuit really well, and Jagger would do well to stay on his teammate's tail and learn a couple of the Cape Town lines and a couple of the Cape Town braking points to make his job in the rookie championship a little easier. Through the back end of the field, they come onto the back straight for the first time, and there you go, side by side towards Cape Town corner and Fostron, and they are fast and thick coming down into turn 5. Late on the brakes from the Angry Car, getting really late, and oh, a little touch, a big touch in fact, not a little one, and that sends Yuri Swart absolutely sideways. He catches it and recovers nicely, but drops to 3rd place right into the clutches now of this man's teammate, Davy van der Merwe, as Jagger Robertson goes off circuit. He loses a little bit of ground there. You can see Lonica Martin squeeze through, so did Dean Fenter, and Jagger just making a small mistake coming out of Cape Town corner. The pressure is on the youngster and the rookie. Onto the braking point, Giordano moves back up ahead into 2nd place ahead of Davy van der Merwe, who was able to squeeze him out only for about 800 meters of that straight, and then came back into the thick of it and into the battle for that 2nd place as they went down into turn 1. Further back, they start to sort things out there. Cara Hill having a fantastic little fight there with Ethan Coetzee and with Lonica Martins. The 2 lady drivers are having such a good run so far, and great to see her back in the thick of it. Lonica right on the tailpiece there of her ex-teammate, and you can see Kwanda Mokwena who's showing her the way around. Just behind her is Bryce Pillay in the MIG Logistics car. Good start from him too. But it's a great start from everybody. Not one car has really gone out and shown their cards just yet, but there are definitely some Cape Town boys lining up, including Charles Visser there, 2nd of the Team Red Racing cars, sitting in about 8th place at the moment, looking to try and get up into that top 6. He is putting the pressure onto the back end of Natim Samanga and looking for that chance if it's able, and he can find it. They get onto the back straight one more time. Look at the gap that's opening up here at the front end. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a charge here from the Angry Car and the 2 Bullion IT cars. That is Cape Town 1, 2 and 3 on track. Davy van der Merwe keeps out the fourth Cape Town driver, and Natim Samanga just behind him. Late on the brakes, and very late on the brakes there. In fact, too late on the brakes. Bryce Pillay runs off. He came down into Cape Town corner a little bit too fast, and faster on corner caught him out, and he's now stuck. Yes, I thought that might be the case. That thick beach sand is a big problem for these cars, and the Dunlops do not like going off into that thick kiddie litter, and they just get buried there. Have a look at this one more time. Bryce Pillay just comes into faster on a little bit too hot, and he backs it up, and as he goes to hit the accelerator, that front wheel just digs in, and he goes nowhere. The GTI moves out of the way. That Polo GTI that we're using as a safety car gets out of the way for all the Polo Cup competitors. They will go line astern until they cross the line. No one can overtake until you've crossed the start-finish line. Jagger Robertson trying to go with Clinton Mercedes, and he gets away. Ethan Kutsia getting caught out there. He'll have to give those positions back. He cannot pass until you've got over the start-finish line, and he realized he'd made a mistake, and he had to drop right back into where he was earlier on. Yuri Swart behind his teammate, Giordano Lupini. Good start there for the second time here, and it looks like the two of them are going to go hunting once again for that angry car of Tate Bishop. Bishop with massive pressure now from his two Cape Town contingents and compatriots bringing along for the ride. Davy van der Merwe, there's hardly anything in it now for these last couple of laps. Natim Samanga runs wide, opens up the door. Here comes Charles Visser. Visser going to try and get ahead now of his former teammate, Clinton Mercedes. Mercedes now in the Stu Davidson car for the first time this season, running for the EP colours, even though he's from Port Shepstone. He's definitely loving life in his new team. Natim Samanga getting forced wide there from Charles Visser and onto the dirty stuff. He has to tuck in behind. And evasive action there just behind that from Jagger Robertson. Jagger very lucky to miss the Squadra course car coming back onto the circuit as it put two wheels onto the dirt. It did compromise his drive, and it's gone off again. Oh, he's gone off in a big way down that back straightaway. Jagger Robertson giving him a little bit of room to come back on. And you see Robertson getting a little bit of a baptism of fire into Polo Cup. Welcome to Polo Cup, Jagger. This is not M Performance BMW Race Series, and it's not NX Legends. This is what it's all about in Polo Cup. You get real, and it gets up close and personal when you get into the thick of it, particularly when you're just outside the top six like Jagger was. Brilliant IT cars now side by side. Yuri Swart trying to outgun Giordano as they go down towards turn one. Across the finish line. Problems in the background there for the Calex car of Cara Hill. That's a pity to lose that young lady driver. She was having such a great dice at the back, and having a good go there with Zolile Mjabuka and Ethan Kutsia. And it looks like Zolile Mjabuka's car also with a bit of damage, which means there's been a red flag situation. Race one's been shortened ever so slightly due to two incidents. They were big ones. Yuri Swart taking the victory eventually ahead of Tate Bishop and Giordano Lupini. Davy van der Merwe beats out Clinton Mercedes, Charles Visser, Robertson, Fenter, Msamanga and Mokoena, your top 10. Let's catch up now with Cara and find out what went wrong.
Heading towards the last corner with that one Squadra Corsa guy behind me, and I turned in and he was probably behind me. I don't know for sure if he was behind or near my B pillar, but as I'm turning in the corner, mid-corner, he decides to T-bone me and just spun me off. Complete damage to the right, my wheel bearing and my wheel alignment's off. But I'm hoping for the next race now it will be no crashes and a clean race for the first time, maybe, but we'll see what happens.
Welcome back to action now from the Extreme Festival and race number 2 of the Compcare Polo Cup. Compcare Medical Scheme coming on board as the official naming rights sponsors. 5-second board is up. We're about to go racing again. Is it going to be Cape Town dominance again? We'll wait and see. We're on board with Tate Bishop. He'll be looking to try and get one back on Giordano Lupini and on Yuri Swart, but looks like Swart's got the drop. The Bullion IT man goes down into turn 1. We look back now from Tate Bishop at the rest of the pack who's streaming into turn 1, led out by Davy van der Merwe. He's got a huge field behind him, and they're all just as hungry as the man who is right on the tailpiece here of Tate Bishop. They're all looking for a chance to try and squeeze through in the background, all getting through and nicely done into turn 2. It's Yuri Swart who leads out though. Tate Bishop in second place, and you can see looks like a little bit of problems there for Giordano Lupini. He's dropped back into about 6th or 7th place. They're fighting with Natim Samanga and with Poseidon. Poseidon forcing his way through there on the Squadra course car, and Veronica Martin's coming along for the ride. Quanda Mokoena's tucked in just behind her and looking to try and use the young lady as a blocker to try and get through this pack. And, well, he's following Clinton Poseidon and Lonica Martins. And if he can follow through on those two, very good possibility he'll be up there with Natim Samanga, his good friend. Jagger Robertson's just behind that, as you can see, as they go into Malmesbury corner. He's on the tailpiece there of Bryce Pillay. And Bryce Pillay now trying to fend off the 4th car there from Team Red Racing as they come onto the back straightaway for the first time. It's Yuri Swart from the angry car of Tate Bishop. Davy van der Merwe is up into 3rd place. 4th place, it's Charles Visser. Visser with a much better start there from his Cape Town side of things. It's 3 Cape Town boys and a man from Team Red Racing up on the Highveld who are fighting for the lead of this race, and there's nothing in it. Much better start from Dean Fenter, one of the best starts we've seen out of him ever. The 27 car, they're up in a 6th place ahead of Beside Note, and then it's Naitium Samanga fending off the intentions there of Lonica Martins. Cara Hill is back on circuit. You can see the Calix car just in the background there. Great to see the work being done by that team to get it back on track, and well done to Trevor Bland and his team for getting that car back onto the circuit. It is Msamanga, though, who's got big trouble with Lonica Martins and Robertson lined up. Quantum McQueen lost out one position there to Jagger Robertson, and Jagger now moves himself up into the top rookie position again for race number 2. There's a move. Lonica having a little bit of a look and see, but not quite close enough to get through there on Msamanga. You can see also Bryce Pillay starting to close things down there. Great to see that car back on track as well. One of the incident causes from race number 1. And it wasn't really a problem with the car, it just got buried in the kiddie litter. Fortunately, he's now back on circuit and fighting for opportunities to be in that top 10. He's just outside of it at the moment. The battle for the inside of top 10 is right in front of us, and we're talking about it right now as Jagger Robertson goes on the attack. Lonica Martins and Msamanga are his sights, and well within his sights. This is his teammate a bit further up the road, Darby van der Merwe, we go on board with as they head down that back straightaway. On to the slipstream. Do we have a little push to pass there? I think he might have gone for one. Yes, he has. He's going to try and use it there to get past on Tate Bishop as they get into the braking zone. Bishop knows to hold that inside line for Cape Town corner. And into Fostron. Is he good enough? Oh, he's very good. He's angry enough to get into Fostron corner. But he runs high and wide. And Darby van der Merwe saw that coming. Cuts back and goes up the inside. Forces Tate Bishop into an out-braking maneuver that he just wasn't able to make. And he moves himself up now and looking for a chance to close things down on the leader. So Darby van der Merwe up to second. Yuri Swart controlling things from the front again. What a start there from Yuri Swart. Brilliant stuff from him. Exactly what he did last season in the anniversary edition, of course, of this Polo Cup Championship. Fantastic to see him take all 3 victories. Can he do it again here today? He's certainly on song for it. There's no doubt about it. The rest of the pack there, Beside Note with him, Samanga on his tail. Looks like Jagger Robertson has now got the intentions being shown there by Kwanda Makwena. Angry car under attack, and Charles Visser squeezes through on his Cape Town compatriot. And looks like he might be able to do it on Giordano as well. Yes, he will be able to. He goes side by side with Giordano. Has he got enough room here? Tate Bishop is going to have to go side by side with Lupini as they come through the kink. And they've lost both of them to Charles Visser. The Team Red Racing man just getting ahead of both of his fellow Capetonians. That is great driving there from Tate Bishop and from Giordano. Enough room to go through turn 3 Damstip. Absolutely side by side. Brilliant stuff as they come up towards Malmesbury now. Can they go side by side again? Yes, they can. That's 3 corners. Absolutely wing mirror to wing mirror. Brilliant Polo Cup action as always here in Cape Town. And they continue down that back straightaway. Yuri Swart controlling things. He's got about 3 seconds on the rest of this pack. Brilliant drive here from the man who is the king of Cape Town. Literally, in the last 5 races, he's taken victories here in Cape Town, and he's looking to do more of the same here. Brilliant stuff as well from Dean Fenter, who's now closed things up due to the fact that these two are fighting so hard. Fenter wants to show them away. Oh, and Lupini runs wide. Lupini onto the dirty stuff and onto the grass and onto the inside kink that used to be part and parcel of the circuit. It's the entry point to the new pit building. Checkered flag is out. Yuri Swart has taken it. Brilliantly done. 2 out of 2 ahead of Darby van der Merwe, who moves himself up ever so slightly higher. His teammate comes through for 3rd place, beating out Tate Bishop and Dean Fenter, with Lupini in 6th, Beside Note in 7th, Msamanga, Robertson and Makwena. Your top 10. Join us off the break for race 3 action. Great to have the crowds back here at Killarney International Raceway, and it's race 3 of the Compcare Polo Cup that they're standing by for now. We are as well, and it's going to be absolutely brilliant stuff. You can see Nick Davidson just having a little final chat there to Clinton Besaidnot, his new protege in that team. Bryce Pillay looking to turn his luck around. Msamanga has been right there and thereabouts, but not quite up in the top 3 just yet. Let's see what he can do now in race number 3. Darby van der Merwe will be looking for a victory, and Yuri Swart will be trying to wrap up 3 out of 3 for the day, if that's possible. Great start from Darby van der Merwe. Goes side by side with Charles Visser. The Bullion IT boys just ahead of that, and you can see Tate Bishop looking already as dangerous as ever at the front end and looking to control things from the start. The rest of the pack comes streaming through. Jagger Robertson having a fantastic day in the saddle. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, great to have the Robertson name. A former champion in Devon Robertson, his cousin, who's taken over the reins now. And Jagger Robertson now going to fly that flag high for Big Boss and for Liqui Moly, as well as Team Red Racing. On the inside, what a move there from Charles Visser, getting ahead now of Darby van der Merwe, making it Cape Town 1-4. And Clinton Besaidnot is side by side with Dean Fenter and Lonica Martins. 2 white cars either side of the sort of McDonald's coloured car there of Stu Davidson and Sons. And as he goes down into turn 3, he just puts himself in the meat in the sandwich there as they go into turn 3. Pillay doing the same thing with Robertson on his tail again. It looks like Bryce Pillay once passed on Kwanda Makwena. Behind them, they line up in the form of Ethan Kutsia, who hasn't had quite the day he wanted here, but definitely a man to watch out for in the future. Polo Cup racing is in full effect, and Tate Bishop controls it from the front right now, keeping out Yuri Swart and looking to keep out Giordano Lupini and Charles Visser to win out not only the race for race number 3, but also the honour of being the top Cape Townian in the heat today as well. They come down on the brakes. Dean Venter again late on the brakes, trying to go around the outside of Clinton Mercedes. He's got Lonica Martins on the inside, and she pounces. That's one position down there as Dean Venter runs wide, and Lonica runs wide, puts a wheel on the dirt. Might compromise her drive ever so slightly onto the main straightaway, and he might be able to get back at her. Go on board here with Darby van der Merwe to get up close and personal with the Killarney wall and underneath the Cape Town City Bridge. The city of Cape Town coming on board, remember, this weekend as a big supporter for the Killarney International Raceway and one of our associate sponsors for the Extreme Festival for this round. The right motorsport machine there, Venter trying to squeeze through, didn't quite make it stick, but he's got a very talented young lady and a young man that he's fighting with at the moment, and at this stage, well, last time out it was with Lonica, this time out it's with her former teammate, and that is Quantum McQuena on his inside. Quantum McQuena, remember, had a massive moment here at the beginning of 2021, and it took him a long time to get back behind the wheel. He's now back behind the wheel and looking very strong, staying ahead now of Jagger Robertson and staying ahead of Dean Venter. And look at that, Natyam Samanga dropping right by the wayside as well. Not the way he wanted to start this second heat, or this third heat I should say. 3 heats of racing here in Cape Town, keeping the Polo Cup fans on their toes. Jagger Robertson doing the same thing there to Clinton Mercedes. It's basically the seat that Mercedes had last year that Jagger Robertson has stepped into, and he stepped into it in fine style, taking on the man from Port Shepstone, running in new colours there for Stu Davidson and Sons, and the Nick Davidson team picking up that youngster, a very talented karter, and of course the next world champion in that category. Oh, Venter onto the dirt though. Oh, he's doing some grass tracking and some off-track excursions. That's not what you want to be doing there, Dean Venter, particularly at this stage of the day. It's gone so well for Dean Venter. It looks like he might be throwing an opportunity of a great overall finish for the day's racing. Here's Kwanda. Kwanda on the inside. Jagger forces him wide. Oh, and Jagger tries to go around his outside. On the inside comes Besaidnot and Msamanga. 4x4 coming out of turn 1. Absolutely brilliant. And that is what Polo Cup is all about. You do not get closer than these guys when they go at it. Quantum McQuena hangs on to that inside line, and Jagger goes through with him. Oh, looks like he might have got a little tap there from Jagger. Jagger might have given a little bit of rubbing his racing, and here comes Natyam Samanga to squeeze through. Capitalise on the tap there between Jagger Robertson and McQuena, and oh, McQuena goes side by side now with Natyam Samanga. 2 touches, 3 touches. He returns the favour there on Jagger Robertson as Natyam Samanga comes flying through and into the right-hander at Damps Dip. They come out of Damps and they still 4x4. Absolutely amazing Polo Cup action as always, and this is exactly what we see down in the mother city at Killarney International. And look at that, oh, McQuena now with a small mistake. McQuena running wide, that's going to compromise his drive, and it'll probably give an opportunity for those guys to finish up in the order they're in right now. Coming to the line, the angry car is going to take the final victory of the day. Tate Bishop going to do it all right and take the victory not only for Cape Town's point of view, but for his team. He's going to be very happy with this performance. As he comes to the line, the checkered flag is out. The third and final victory for Polo Cup in the first time that Compcare joins them goes to the angry car of Tate Bishop. Yuri Swart comes through for second place. He's ahead of Giordano Lupini, his teammate. Great first outing for that Bullion IT Racing team. Universal Motorsport and Team Red Racing, Charles Visser and Darby van der Merwe behind that, with Lonica Martins on their tail, Msamanga and Robertson. That's how that battle finished up. Brilliant race action as always. Let's catch up now with Giordano Lupini after the final heat.
Not a perfect day by any means, but I think we've made a huge leap forward since last round. And I'm really happy to be where we are. I think I could never have imagined to be on a podium going into this round. So I'm really happy, and I have to say a massive thank you to my sponsor. You're going to see this name everywhere soon. Thanks, guys.
His teammate did a phenomenal job taking the overall victory. Let's catch up with Yuri.
I'm just very proud of my team of Bullion and proud of Giordano and the work we did today. I think we definitely put our authority down. And yeah, overall win for the day. Can't be too upset. Would have liked to get some more points, but I think the away tracks, the experience will come into play a little bit. But yeah, all in all, can't complain too much about today.
Definitely no complaints coming from the final race victor, Tate Bishop.
Tough one at that. Yeah, no, I think Umpi and Giordano drove really well today. Definitely pushed my hardest today that I think I've ever pushed before. I'm hoping to keep this somewhat started legacy on for the next round, and yeah, no, I'm looking really forward to it.
Championship points after round number 1. Yuri Swart at the top ahead of Tate Bishop and Giordano Lupini. Darby van der Merwe with some catching up to do, along with Clinton Mercedes and Charles Visser. Watch out for Jagger Robertson leading out the rookies.